Two things come to mind is when I have given firesides or done workshops or training or spoken with youth, time and time again, without fail, there is at least one, often more, youth that will come up and whisper to me or quietly make a comment, "Thank you for speaking openly about this. My mom and dad won't do this." Or, "Thank you for using that specific word, for not beating around the bush." They want this information, and I agree wholeheartedly with Jason. We sometimes insult their intelligence unwittingly, unknowingly, by our desire to protect them, but yet our openness is respected by them and wanted by them.
Wow, what a powerful lesson. So our children are yearning for the truth.
They are.
And if we just tell them the truth, especially from the gospel perspective about how beautiful and sacred sexuality is within the bounds of marriage, and we arm them with the word of God, as it were, that they will be protected, that they'll be strengthened, and we don't have to be afraid of, I can bring this up and they aren't instantly going to go off the deep end and have all these terrible things happen to them. Just the opposite.
Right. Well, in fact, some people, will mention that they're focusing on the young men and young women in a ward or in a stake. And I'll say, well, what about the primary? What about senior primary? And I'll get an odd look. And I'll say, well, to me, it says so much about the Lord's standard with this teaching, when we know that when children are preparing for an interview to go to the temple to do baptisms for the dead, they are asked if they are living the law of chastity. Many youth don't even know what that is when they're asked that question. And so for me, if the Lord asks that question at the age of 12 and wants an accounting of the living of the law of chastity at the age of 12, that tells me as a parent, I need to be preparing my child to understand what that word means and to be able to know how, in those tender years, how they can live that and be accountable for that. And so for parents that are thinking, oh, this is 13 and up, this is middle school, high school, I would really invite parents to consider and what that question at the age of 12, it speaks volumes about the timing and the types of discussions we're to have.